Greetings! Mandatory79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Tier Days! Alright, let's get started. Pressing the A button now. Loading game, proceeding. Here you're on the main menu, going to edit deck menu. And now in today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is a Dragon Empire's Dragonic Overlord D-BT03. And for the base of the deck I'm building, I'm using this D-BT02 Dragonic Overlord deck. Okay, let's get started. Going to edit deck. Here we are. Like I mentioned before, the deck profile I'm making in today's video is a Dragon Empire's Dragonic Overlord deck composed of cards only available up until D-BT03. So first it's going to filter settings, pack, only show cards from D-BT01, Genesis of the 5 Greats, D-BT02, A Brush of the Legends, D-BT03, Advance of Intertwined Stars, and Festival Collection 2021. Apply filter. Here we are. So let's get started with the Grade 3 lineup. For the Grade 3 lineup of this deck, we're playing Grade 3 Dragonic Overlord. Its skills are: first skill, continuous, as a Vanguard or rear guard. During the battle, this unit attack the rear guard. Your opponent cannot call cards from their hand to Guardian Circle. Second skill, auto, as Vanguard, once per turn. When this unit's attack hits, cost, counterblast 1, discard a card from your hand. If the cost and paid, restand this unit, and it gets drive -1 until the end of the turn. So for Dragonic Overlord, he's the main Grade 3 to run his deck. His first skill, every time he attacks a rear guard, either your Vanguard Overlord or your rear guard Overlord in your field attacks an opponent's rear guard, they cannot guard from their hand, making a almost guaranteed hit on the opponent's rear guard. And second skill, when its attack lands on either an opponent's Vanguard or rear guard, by paying the cost, you can restand your Vanguard Overlord for another attack at the additional cost of drive -1. So for Dragonic Overlord, we're playing 4 of him. Next up, the Grade 3 Penetrate Dragon Tri-Bash. His skill is auto, as a rear guard. When your Vanguard attacks, if your opponent has 2 or less rear guards, cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets critical +1 until the end of the battle. So for Tri-Bash, he's a good card to play in your Dragon Empire decks. As long as you manage to clear your opponent's field of rear guards beforehand when your Vanguard attacks, Tri-Bash will be able to add a +1 critical to your Vanguard's attack, making it more likely to pressure your opponent and finish them off. For Tri-Bash, we're taking 1 out, playing 3 in the deck. Next up, the Grade 3 Titleist Dragon Musashi Armor. His skill is continuous. The normal ride from hand on this unit by a unit with a different card name is regarded as a Persona Ride 2. So for Musashi Armor, he's one of the other Grade 3s to ride in this deck. When you ride a new unit on top of him, regardless if it's a different one or the same one, it'll be counted as a Persona Ride. So for Musashi Armor, we're playing 2 of him, putting 1 in the right deck. Next up, the Grade 2 lineup. For the Grade 2s of this deck, we're playing right deck, Grade 2, Dragonic Overlord. His skill is auto, when this unit is ridden by a unit with Overlord in its card name, call it to rear guard circle. And second skill, action, is a rear guard once per turn. If you have a Vanguard of Overlord in its card name, Soul Blast 1, if the cost is paid, then this unit and all of your Vanguards will get +5,000 power until the end of the turn. So for Nehalem, he's the main Grade 2 to ride in his deck. His first skill, just by riding an Overlord on top of him, you'll be the superior column from the soul to the rear guard, giving you a Nehalem to attack with or to support your Vanguard with its second skill. And the second skill, as long as Overlord is your Vanguard, Nehalem will be able to add power to itself and Overlord, making it a 15,000 point attacker, and Overlord a base 18,000 point attacker. And the best part is, it's possible to stack the power. Though a single Nehalem cannot reuse the skill, if you call multiple Nehalems to the rear guard and pay for their skills each one, you'll be able to keep stacking power to your Vanguard. So for Nehalem, we're playing 4 of him, 1 in the right deck. Next up, the Grade 2 Berserk Dragon. Its skill, auto, as a rear guard. When this unit attacks, if your Vanguard Overlord If you have a Vanguard Overlord in its card name, this unit gets +5,000 power until the end of the battle. Then, counterblast 1, if the cost is paid, choose one of your opponent's Grade 2 or less rear guards and retire it. So for Berserk Dragon, he's one of the Grade 2 supporting for Dragonic Overlord. Whenever he attacks while your Vanguard's Overlord, he can become a 15,000 point attacker on its own. And by paying an additional counterblast of 1, you'll be able to clear out your opponent's field of rear guards. So for Berserk Dragon, we're playing 4 of him. The Grade 2, Stealth Rogue of Iron Blade, Oshikune. Not going to play this anymore, so taking 3 out. Next up. The Grade 2, Blast Artillery Dragon, Brachial Force. His skill, auto as a rear guard. When this unit attack hits, cost, retire this unit. If they cost him hate, draw a card and choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. So for Brachial Force, he's a pretty good card to play in your Dragon Empire decks. Just by laying an attack on either the opponent's Vanguard or rear guard, you'll be able to use Brachial Force's skill to draw a new card to restock your hand and to also clear your opponent's field of rear guards. So for Brachial Force, we're playing 3 of him. Next up, the Grade 2, Steel Blow of Duststorm, Ethan. His skill, auto as a rear guard. When your Vanguard stack hits, cost, retire this unit. If he costs him hate, draw a card and countercharge. So for Ethan, he's another good Dragon Empire card to play. Just by landing an attack from your Vanguard on either your opponent's Vanguard or rear guard, you'll be able to pay its skill to not only countercharge 1 but draw a card. So in my opinion, Ethan is a more powerful version of the Great One Dragon Mount Gojo, since it's far more versatile, since Gojo can only be used in your Vanguard center column, while as for Ethan, he can be used in any part of the rear guard. Thus, by my opinion, Ethan is a more superior version of the Great One Dragon Mount Gojo. So for Ethan, we're going to be playing 4 of him. Okay, now for the Great One lineup. For the Great Ones of this deck, we're playing Ride Deck, Great One, Embodiment of Armor Bar. Its skills are, first skill, auto. When this unit is ridden upon by Dragon in the Hollow, counterblast 1. If you cost him hate, search your deck for up to 1 Great One card, reveal it and put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. And second skill, auto as a rear guard, once per turn. When your Vanguard stack hits, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. So for Bar, he's the main Great One to ride his deck. His first skill, just by riding Dragonite and the Hollow on top of him, by paying a counterblast of 1, you'll be able to search your deck for any Great One and add to your hand. So ideally, this first skill is a good way to restock your hand perfect guards to defend against your opponent, or for any specific Great One you wish to use to add to your later game strategy. And second skill, as long as your Vanguard stack hits on either an opponent's Vanguard or rear guard, Bar will get power and can serve as a 13,000 point attacker or a 13,000 point booster from the back row. So for Bar, we have 4, taking 3 out, only playing 1 in the right deck. Next up, the Great One, Dragon Mount Gojo. Not going to play this anymore, so taking 4 out. The Great One, Stealth Dragon Tensha Step. Not going to play this anymore, taking 2 out. Next up, for the other Great Ones of this deck, we're playing let's see what to add. Here, the Great One, Twin Strike of Duststorm, Orlando. His skills are, first skill, action from the soul. If your opponent's rear guard was retired this turn, counterblast 1. If the cost him paid, call this the rear guard circle. And second skill, as a rear guard auto, when your Grade 3 or greater Vanguard attacks, put this unit into your soul. If the cost him paid, choose one of your Vanguards and give plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. So for Orlando, it's a pretty decent card to have in the Overlord series. For the first skill, if your rear guard was retired during your main phase, by paying a counterblast of 1, you can superior call Orlando from the soul. And the second skill, as long as your Grade 3 Vanguard attacks, as long as you got Orlando the soul, by putting him from the rear guard, when you got Orlando the rear guard, by putting him from your rear guard into the soul, your Vanguard will get plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. So the plus 5,000 power remains for the whole turn, making it a good support for Dragonic Overlord, who attacks multiple times from the Vanguard. So for Orlando, we're playing 4 of him. Okay, that should... Next up, the Great One, Twin Buckler Dragon, Sentinel, Perfect Guard. First skill, continuous, Sentinel. Second skill, auto. When this unit is put on the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units. It cannot be hit until the end of the battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So for Twin Buckler Dragon, he's a perfect guard for the Dragon Empire Nation. Like any other perfect guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, he features the same skill and activation. When placed in the Guardian Circle, by discarding a card from your hand, you can completely block one enemy attack. but he also has an ability unique to all D standard format perfect guards. When used to guard with while having less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 cost, making him a no-cost perfect guard in desperate last resort situations. So for Twin Buckler, we got 4, keeping 4. And now for the Grade 0 lineup, for the Grade 0 this deck, we're playing Right deck, Grade 0, Lizard Runner Undu. His skill is Auto. When this unit is ridden upon, if you went second, draw a card. So for Undu, he's the starter unit of this deck. His skill, just by riding on top of him while being second to go in the game, you get to draw a card. So we have 1 Undu with the right deck. Next, the trigger lineup. For the triggers of this deck, we're playing, let's see, the Grade 0, Blazeman and Zone, taking 4 per out. And then the Grade 0, Conduct Spark Dragon, critical trigger, picking 1 out, playing 3. And next up, the Grade 0, Burning Field Dragon, critical trigger, his skill, Auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. Put this unit into your soul. If you cost him paid, choose one of your units and it gets plus 2,000 power until the end of the turn. So for Burning Field Dragon, he's a pretty decent critical trigger to play in your Dragon Empire Nation decks. Just by boosting your attack, regardless if it hits or not, as long as you don't mind moving Burning Flare from your rear guard into the soul, you'll be able to give another unit on your field, either your Vanguard or rear guard, plus 2,000 power. So Burning Flail is a good way to restock your soul for later soul blasts, but to also give the remaining attacker a little extra power to work with. So for Burning Flail, we're playing 4 of him. Next, the Grade 0, Blaze Staff Muck, Chokusha, taking 3 out, replacing it with the Grade 0, Rushing Dragon, Steel Dilapo, draw trigger, playing 4 of him. Next, the Grade 0, Blazeman and Rona, heal trigger, playing 4 per. And last but not least, the Grade 0, Dragon DD King of Resurgence, Drag Vita, over trigger. His skill, trigger additional effect. Choose one of your Vanguards and stand it. So for Drag Vita, he's the over trigger for the Dragon Empire Nation. Like any other over trigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw a card. But he also features a skill that's unique to him. When revealed during a drive check on your turn, you can restand your Vanguard for another attack. So Drag Vita is a pretty powerful card for any Dragon Empire Nation build, since just by revealing it in your drive check, you can give your Vanguard another attack, thus increasing the chances of getting another trigger or restocking your hand with more drive checks, or just freshening your opponent with another attack from your Vanguard. Super Drag Vita are playing 1 in the right deck, running the main deck. So okay, that should be it. The deck's been built, Cardfight is playing, so let's save the deck. Right deck being built. Okay, and now the deck's been built, Cardfight is playing. For the cards in this deck, we're playing 3 Penetrate Dragon Fryback, 4 Dragonic Overlords, 2 Titulus Dragon Musashi Armor, 4 Dragonite Nehalem, 4 Berserk Dragon, 4 Steel Bullet of Duststorm Ethan, 3 Blast Artillery Dragon Brachial Force, 4 Twin Buckler Dragon, 1 Embodiment of Armor Bar, 4 Twin Strike of Duststorm Orlando, and then the 1 Lizard Runner Undu starting unit. And for the triggers of this deck, we're playing 7 critical triggers, 4 draw triggers, 4 heal triggers, and then 1 over trigger, Drag Vita. Okay, so deck built, Cardfight explained. And now let's get on to testing out the deck. So leaving the edit deck menu, back to main menu, going to fight menu, CPU fight. Now choosing the new deck I just built, and choosing an opponent. For the opponent for testing out this deck, I'm going to go up against Kana Aoyama, normal difficulty. Alright, so the battle begins, get started. We're gonna decide who goes first, so rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Paper to rock, I win, going first. Drawing my starting hand. I'm going to redraw one critical trigger. Okay. Stand up the Vanguard, so going first, I draw. I'm going to write from my right deck embodiment of armor bar. I discard Tri-Bash as the right deck cost. Right, end of turn. Now my opponent's turn, she rides the Great One, add the gear, base skill, she draws a card. And calling a rear guard, okay. Vanguard to Vanguard, no guard, take the hit. She checks, no trigger, okay. Here comes, 1 damage. Ow! Damage check, no trigger, okay. And now the rear guard attacks the Vanguard, no guard, take the hit. Here comes. Ow! Damage check, no trigger. 2 overlords out of the deck, not good. Right, it's my turn, I draw. I write from my right deck, Dragonic Overlord. I discard for the hand cost, Nehalem from my hand. Ride, bar skill. I counterblast 1. And search my deck for a Great One. I'm searching for Orlando. Add to hand. Next, I'm calling Steel Blood of Duststorm, Ethan. Dragonic Overlord. And 2 copies of Orlando to the rear guards. There we go. And now going to battle phase. First up, Ethan attacks the rear guard, 9k. Alright, 1 rear guard down. And now boosted by Orlando, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard, 18k. The attack goes through, drive check, no trigger. And damage check. Ah, critical trigger, no! She has power. Then critical as well, alright. So now I'm activating Ethan's skill. I retreat and countercharge 1 and draw 1. Ah, no, not my over trigger, seriously? Boosted by Orlando, Nehalem attacks the Vanguard, 18k. The attack goes through, 1 damage. Damage check. Critical trigger, nice, she wasted a trigger. Alright, so then that's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. She rides the Great 2, Rikushina, the Great 1 skill, Superior Call, and she calls skill. Calling a rear guard, called Perfect Guard, okay. The Vanguard, the Vanguard. Alright, gonna take the hit, no guard. Drive check. Ah, no, not a shield trigger, come on. Here comes 1 damage. Ow. Damage check. No trigger. And rear guard to Vanguard. Okay, no guard, take the hit. Here comes 1 damage. Ow. Damage check. No trigger. Alright, now it's my turn. I stand and draw. I'm going to ride my right deck, Titanless Dragon, Musashi Armor. I discard 1 Perfect Guard, it's the right deck cost, right. Then I call Tri-Bash to the rear guard. Beginning battle phase. First up, Tri-Bash attacks the rear guard, 13k. Okay, and now my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. Tri-Bash's skill, move to the soul. +1 critical. The attack goes through, twin drive, first check. Critical trigger, nice. Critical to my Vanguard, power to Nehalem. And second check. Heal trigger, yes! I heal 1 damage, power to Nehalem. 3 damage on the way first. Ah, heal trigger, come on! And second check, no trigger. And third check, no trigger, okay. Boosted by Orlando, Nehalem attacks the Vanguard, 38k. The attack goes through, 1 more damage, and damage check. Draw trigger, come on! Alright, it's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. She rides her grade 3, Mimish Fortia, and okay, calling rear guard, calling rear guard to Vanguard. I guard 28k. Attack blocked. And now, next up, an attack from the Vanguard, 19k. Okay. No guard, gonna take the hit. Twin drive, first check, no trigger, grade 2, and second check. Grade 1, alright, no trigger, so 1 damage to me. Here comes. Ow! Damage check. No trigger. Okay, then 19k, I guard a critical trigger, attack blocked. Alright, so now it's my turn. I stand and draw. I call Berserk Dragon to the rear guard. And now beginning battle phase. My Vanguard attacks the Vanguard, 21k. Not gonna activate any skills. She double guards, 33k. 2 cards to pass, first check. No trigger, and second check. Critical trigger, yes! I give the critical to Nehalem, power to Berserk. Okay, and now the attack is blocked, so next up, Berserk attacks the Vanguard, 20k. She guards, 28k. And now, boosted by Orlando, Nehalem attacks the Vanguard, 18k. She guards, 1 card, okay. Alright, that's the end of my turn. My opponent's turn. He's going to Persona Ride, not good for me. And calling, okay. Rear guard to Vanguard. Okay. No guard, take the hit. 1 damage. Ow! Damage check. Draw trigger, yes! I draw a card and power to my Vanguard. The opponent's Vanguard to my Vanguard. Okay, I'm going to Perfect Guard with Twin Buckler Dragon. Perfect Guard skill. I'm discarding from my hand. Let's see, 1 Berserk. She drive checks first, no trigger, and second check. No trigger, okay. The attack is blocked. And now 1 more attack from the rear guard. 31k in total, okay, then I'm going to guard the critical, 38k. Attack blocked. Alright, so now it's my turn. I'm gonna stand and draw. Go into main phase, I call Orlando to the rear guard. Beginning battle phase, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard, 21k. Not gonna activate any skills. She double guards, 2 to pass. Alright, first check. No trigger, now Overlord comes, come on. Second check. Draw trigger, alright. I draw a card, give power to Nehalem. Okay. Now boosted by Orlando, Berserk attacks the Vanguard, 18k. She guards, 28k, alright. And now boosted by Orlando, Nehalem attacks the Vanguard, 28k. She guards a perfect guard, okay. Okay, so she has 1 card left in hand, all my attacks blocked, so that's the end of my turn. She Persona rides again, not good. Adding power to the front row, so first up, the rear guard attacks the Vanguard. 31k, I'm going to guard with 2 cards, 33k. Okay. And now, the Vanguard. 29k. Alright, I'm going to Perfect Guard with Twin Buckler Dragon. And next up, I'm going to activate Twin Buckler skill to discard one card. I discard Over Trigger. Drag Vita to activate Perfect Guard. She Twin Drives. No trigger. And second check. No trigger. Alright. No triggers, so the attack is blocked. Now one less attack from the opponent. She attacks with a total of 31 power. I guard with Twin Buckler again. No cost Perfect Guard. And now the attack is blocked. Alrighty, so now it's my turn. I'm going to stand and draw. Oh, now another Overlord. Now they come at the delayed part of the game. Oh, well, whatever. I Persona Ride, Dragonic Overlord. Draw a card. Then activate Nihalem's skill. I Soul Blast 1. And give power to himself and Overlord. Okay. Alrighty, that should do it. So first up, I'm going to go to battle phase. My Overlord, unboosted, attacks the rear guard. LB. Not gonna activate any skills. First check. No trigger. And second check. No trigger. Alright. One rear guard down. And now Overlord skill. I counter blast 1. Discard 1. Restand my Vanguard. Okay. Now boosted by Orlando, Nihalem attacks the Vanguard, 33k. She guards with an Over Trigger, nice. Now boosted by Orlando, Berserk attacks the Vanguard, skill plus another 5,000 power, 33k to the Vanguard. And another additional counter blast. I'm going to retire a rear guard. I retire the Great One, Azakir. She guards a Perfect Guard. Nice. Alright, the last attack. Boosted by Orlando, Overlord attacks the Vanguard. Then activate the skills of my 2 Orlandos on the left and right. Move to the soul. The one to the right, one more time, move to the soul. Alright, then that should be enough. 46k to the Vanguard, one drive check. Draw trigger! I draw one card. And power in. 1 damage on the way. So, slash away and 1 damage check. Yes! No heal trigger! So, she cannot heal, wasting the trigger effect. That's it, winner me! I got win, double trigger, attack 50,000 more power, perfect guard 3 more times, did a Persona Ride, 10 turns passed, retired 5 more opposing units, threw 3 more times in 1 turn. I got a total of 2350 BP, total 3600 BP, press A to go next. Alright, so I finished testing out the deck, so let's leave the fight menu, returning to main menu, going to edit deck menu, and so the deck has been built, card effects explained, and I just tested out the deck in front of you. So with that, that's all the time we have for today. So first up, thank you to the viewers watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you all show support by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that, I say goodbye and see you all soon.